military concept of the warriors battling the wolf, protecting the flock, and it kind of transfers over to a lot of any career that is public safety driven. Police, obviously, fire, us, in that we're there for the protection of those that need our help. Um, and it may not be protection to prevent something bad from happening all the time. A lot of times, from our end of it, it's after things have gone wrong, and so we're coming in to kind of help them. So, in a way, collectively we're all sheepdogs, and now that has become um, a moniker for police, fire, EMS, but can easily transfer over to anyone who's in a public safety or humanitarian type profession.
I got you. What made you want to join the police department?
Believe it or not, it was not one specific thing. Like, you get people to be like, I want to help people, and like, I took everything into consideration. Yeah, I want to help people, but I want a job where, I can sustain my family, and driving and going to all these trainings is great, and it's something new every day. So that's really good. But it's, to me, I'm the type of person, I want to do something different all the time, and this is the perfect job for that. I promise you. One day is never like the next.
You get did you get like, I don't know, I guess your first couple of days you get like excited, nervous, all that stuff going on when you got out of the academy, I guess.
Oh yeah, you're definitely nervous when you first come out. But you settle in, and even once you settle, like, I've been here 9 years, but I still go to calls, and I'm still kind of nervous sometimes, and trying to run through what I'm gonna do when I get there, what can happen when I get there, how I can handle it, and hopefully it not turn into something that doesn't need to be, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got a lot of thoughts going through your head all the time, and you're always preparing for the next thing. So, all you can do is rely on your training and keep your mind moving.
Yeah.
So, that's it.
I guess you're just trying to like make the most sense out of it, because you're very, well, the way I see it, I don't know, you tell me, I guess. The way I see, like, you're unpacking stuff very quickly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's, sometimes you get to a scene and it's still unfolding. So you don't really, you kind of know what you got, but you don't really know what you got until you get there, and this person saying one thing, this person saying another. You got a witness saying something, you got officers saying something, you got firemen saying, like, it's just, everybody has, and you got to put it together. So there's a lot going on, but it's like putting the story together so that you can get to the end of it. You don't want to leave out pieces, and if you leave out certain pieces, everybody's still confused. So, yeah. But it's rewarding, but it's also like, it's a challenge. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
What's one of the most challenging parts of the job?
I would say sometimes it's dealing with people, because everybody comes from different walks of life. Everybody doesn't respond the same. You may say, like, I may talk one way or with a different grammar than other people do. They may not understand, or they may take it in the wrong light, or as far as communicating, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. Then you got people with high emotions, so you don't know what's gonna set them off, or you definitely don't want to tell them to calm down, because you're really just lighting a fuse. But people can be difficult, but the more you talk to them, a lot of people just want to be heard. you take the time, give them their platform, let them say what they got to say. And a lot of times they'll calm down and you can kind of figure it out, if that makes sense. It's a little city, but I've been up here since '97. I went to A&T.
Okay.
And graduated from A&T with an architecture engineering degree. And I'm doing this.
How'd you go from engineering to this?
Honestly, I have no idea. Just, it's one of those things where, you want to do something that's different. And I was riding with, she's my wife now. I was dating her at the time. And I saw a police car on the side of the road. And I was like, I could do that. And I applied and I got accepted. And so I've been doing it ever since.
Did your wife or your family ever have any issues with you doing it? Were they scared or?
My family had their qualms about it. But my wife she's prior military.
Gotcha.
She was in for like 10 years and over in Korea and South America.
Oh, wow.
So when I said I wanted to do this, she was fine with it. She's probably my biggest fan. Love her to death for it. So yeah, she's and the kids, they like saying their dad's the police. So I took a call for one of my zone partners, and it's basically it's a road hazard, saying there's 2 vehicles blocking the roadway as far as not being able to see through the intersection. We will head over there and check that out. Fargus. It's like one of those little side streets in Chapman. There's a lot of students over here. So you do get a lot of people just kind of parking wherever they can find a parking space. Basically, those 3 vehicles, the Durango, the Escape, and the Elantra, is parked over here. They are within 25 feet of the intersection. So they could be a hazard. I'm just gonna check and see, if the owner lives around here, if I can have them move it, something of that nature. I try not to just walk up and tow people's cars because tow bill is expensive. If I can help it, at the very least, I might put a parking ticket on it. I try not to overwhelm people if I don't have to. And it's just a parking ticket. You don't want to give anybody anything if you don't have to. But make sure they're doing what they need to do too. Anytime we deal with somebody or we go on some type of call, or we self-initiate, we have to activate our cameras. So with me, I have my body-worn camera that I wear on my chest, and I got my vehicle mounted camera. So we got a front one and a rear one. And either if we put somebody in the rear, we always turn it on. But it can also be activated if I throw my lights on. If I brake, I think it's 85 miles per hour. speed wise. A collision could cause them to come on. So it's just a little bit making sure we're accountable, and it helps as far as making sure that people that say things happen are held accountable as well. So,
Gotcha.
so yeah. I think our panhandling laws changed. Our city ordinance for panhandling changed here, and so with that change, they used to have an ID or a panhandling license, so to speak. Now they don't have to have that. So we used to could walk up to people on the corner and say, hey, you got your license, you got an ID, and just make sure everything was on the up and up. And now we have a lot of people just standing in the medians or standing on the corners, and just kind of got to go with it. Just make sure they're okay. Tell them not to be in traffic, like in the lanes, and just kind of monitor them when you can. The ones out in 130 who do panhandle, I pretty much know their faces. Like I could probably point to my crowd and say 1, 2, 3, 4, because they are in the same place every single week or almost every single day that I work. So I can identify them, just know, hey, they're usually here. But then you get groups that come down from different cities, and they'll be out here, so it makes it look like it's a lot more people.
Check to go get the homeless person laying down on the sidewalk like it. Unknown race, person be a white race, but unknown sex has a navy blue blanket.
1311, okay. Are you gonna walk down there?
Yes, I'd rather ride.
You kind of tired? I can give you a ride if you need a ride to the library. I don't want to leave you out here sitting on the sidewalk.
No, I'm going to sleep.
Okay.
I get tired.
Can you do me a favor and walk across the street with me though?
Yeah.
Can you walk that far?
Yeah, the black.
Okay. You can set all your stuff right there. I do. Don't have anything that'll poke me or stick me or anything.
I have a wife. I have two of them.
Where's the first one?
I don't know.
The other one, you got one in your pocket?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it out and I'll put it in your bag, okay?
All right.
You got another one in here? Yeah, that's it. I found it.
Yeah.
Actually got two in there. I'm gonna zip your pocketbook up so nothing falls out of it, okay? Okay. 7, signal 50. We're transporting one female to the library. Begin the miles when you're ready. It's gonna be 26740. 26740.
Hey, what?
So you put in the mileage for like transports and stuff like that?
When it's a female, I give the mileage over the radio. Some people just type it in, but I was trained to actually give the mileage. That way they know when I picked her up, they know how far I took her, and they know where I dropped off. So if for some reason something ever comes up and she says, well, he took me here, he did this, he did that, then I have my camera on with her in the back. I have the mileage it took for me to get from A to B, and then I have where I dropped her off at. It's just being accountable.
Gotcha. Which I guess from there, from Green Street to there is like half mile or whatever it is.
And sometimes it's the same mileage. Like, I may take a female from the front of the jail to the rear, to the sally port, and I literally did not go a mile. But they know, like, I give them the mileage so that they know. If I could make contact with whoever the driver is, I would try to get him to move. But I don't have any contact information for him. I'm not just gonna tow his truck. Hello, this is Officer Lassiter, Greensboro Police Department. I was calling, hello? Yes, I was calling because there's a truck and trailer parked on the off-ramp of Joseph Brown Boulevard in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I was trying to get in contact with the driver to see if he could move it.
Yeah, people have the idea that like PD is just out to get them or just out to, I don't know what the conception is now, that they're just out to shoot people, or like the homeless community thinks you're just out to bother them or harass them or whatever.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, you get a lot of that sentiment like now, especially now since like you've had the shootings and uses of force and stuff like that that have been like in the media. But just from my perspective, like I know a lot of police officers and they don't come to work to hassle people or to treat people a certain way or anything. You just want to come and make sure you're helping as many people as you can and they doing what they're supposed to do. Like, if I know you're breaking the law, or I get some hint of it where something's not right, then I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't dig into it a little bit. Some might look at that as harassment, but it's more just trying to find out what's going on. I'm not doing this to you or zoning in on you because of your color or because I don't like you or anything, but something that you've done or that's around you has drawn my attention to you. So I just need to figure out what that is. And if it's nothing to it, if I'm wrong, then I can, I move on to the next thing. But just want to make sure everything's on the up and up. So that's the way I look at it. I know so many officers, and you know, I don't I haven't run into anybody that just, you know, they just don't want to deal with people or they don't like people. Like, you don't get that sentiment from the people that I know here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, you're always gonna get that. I think they've probably been getting that since the beginning of policing, but you know, all you can do is do your job the best you can for, you know, the people that want your help. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, just do the best you can. All the rest it'll fall into place. And back to what you were saying about, like, people think you out to get them and stuff. Like, I think one thing too, people gotta understand, it's good and bad with everything. Like, everybody's not great at their job. It's just it's a fact. So, you know, one person can change the mindset of a group of people. If you got that one person that's not great at their job, maybe they didn't train the way they needed to, or maybe they didn't know something that they probably needed to know. Like, that could change the mindset of a whole group of people when it's like put in the spotlight. So, you know, one way to kind of combat that is like preparation. Just making sure that you know the things you need to know, you train the way you need to train, and if you don't know, because this job is evolving constantly, if you don't know, then find the answer. With my trainees, that's one thing I try to let them know. Hey, if you don't know, you got resources. Like, try to figure it out. But you know, sometimes we blame people for snap decisions. And it was just a mistake. I don't know. That's just my little spiel.
Right.
So.
And it's hard because I've seen, you know, articles where they'll break down this whole situation, and, you know, maybe the man had, you know, not too, I don't know, you know, a couple seconds to think about what he was going to do, how this was going to impact him or her.
Absolutely. Sometimes we don't know how it's going to impact us until we do it. And, you know, that second or two may not be enough time to make that decision, but it may be all the time that you got. So you got to do something.
Occurred at South Florida Road and West Florida Avenue. Occurred at 3:30. Call us up to 1017 on 1124 Eagle Road.
And, like, there's a lot of things I think people don't, I guess they don't have, like, the, you know, the technical knowledge. Like, if you can't see someone's hands, you know what I mean? That's, I mean, I don't know.
That's bad.
Talk to me about that, man. If, you know, you ask someone to, you know, show me your hands, and they're not complying.
Yeah, and, well, one thing about that is, you know, what we were taught, or I know what I feel we were taught, is hands hurt you. Like, people ain't gonna grab a gun with their feet, you know what I mean? They're not gonna put it in their mouth, but the hands are what are gonna control whatever's gonna happen. So if you have your hand somewhere and I asked you to pull them out so I can see them, it's to put both of me and you in a better place. Because now I know you are safe to deal with, and, you know, I can de-escalate as need be. It's hard to de-escalate or maintain yourself when you don't know, when there's a lot of uncertainty. And then there's the reason of, why won't you show me your hands if there's nothing else going on? So it raises your suspicion, and you're heightening your awareness because you want to know that it's going to be safe and you're going to be able to get through this call with no issue. So yeah, the hands, they're they're important. Even if I go through a driver's checkpoint or something, like my hands are up here on the steering wheel because I know that that's gonna make whoever's talking to me feel more comfortable with the interaction we're having. So it's all about being able to get to that point, because you never know what people have nowadays. And that's not to say everybody is armed that has their hands in their pockets, but according to the way I came in contact with you, I may need to see your hand. And then if there's nothing going on and it's 5 below zero outside, put them back in your pockets and warm them up. But let's make sure you're good so that we can interact and get through whatever we're trying to get through. But yeah, they did teach us the hands are like one of the most important things to keep your eyes on. Yeah. You get a lot of people that, and it's kind of like you said, like they don't understand what hands mean. Like they think you just messing with them. Why I got to take my hands out of my pocket? And I'll explain to them, hey, so that both of us, me and you, can be safe. Just take your hands out of your pockets, just so I can see that you ain't got nothing in them, and we good to go. We'll get to everything else, So, but the hands can hurt you. Like a lot of people just don't interact with the police. Like you've never been in trouble, never been in that type of situation, and then all of a sudden it's happening, and I'm running up to you, yelling at you to show me your hands, and you like, well, why I got to show you my hands? Now I need to explain to you so that we can, get past this point. But it could be stressful for both parties. Like me yelling at you to see your hands and you trying to figure out why I need to see your hands. Some people, like I said, don't like you were saying, they don't really know what's going on. Some people just don't have that experience dealing with the police to know that, or they haven't. Granted, it's just following directions, but if you haven't been in that situation, sometimes it slips your mind and you don't know how to follow directions. Like you want the logic behind